The Celtics are dead.
Well, the top side streets are a dangerous place, so you better tune in to a credible face like this one. Yeah, this one. And you know he's not alone, and they're coming in hot. We got a Lake so Stan and a guy who really likes baseball. I don't know why he likes baseball. We got legs and a guy in a bear suit. We're making money up to clips, big ticket flips. We got potential to grow. He's in the NBA. What else can I say? You gotta get in the know. Even Washington's inside game. Live talking flame. Why are you selling so low? Those Canadian bacon and friends. Fun never ends. Come on and get on the show. This is not financial advice.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Morning Marketplace. I am alive. I am well. I am tired. That in that order. In that order, I think we're gonna have a fun little show today. Dubs secure a chip. Who do we got here this morning? Though we got Rowdy Rod. We the people's up in here. Jump shoot JJL. Shout out JJL, by the way, which I'll explain in a second. But we have Pack Trip here. Top Shot, Common Man, Mac Attack, Devlar's in the house. Eagle Pop, Borland. Benny's here, Gnome, Heath, Eric Fernandez, Tom Pierce, Airplane Mode, Brian Foster, D Rose is in the house, Dr. Doug's, Doc Delta, Bob Divine, Artemis is here, Mark, Yachty, Effet, Nico Saint, Aziz is here, gang's all here. I'm seeing Big Ticket as well, Thomas Welch. I'm also getting some weird connection issues, so I hope that's not affecting you, and it's just on my end. Also, it looks like I banged my nose. What's going on? So before we get into the show, let's get the farming up early. So our man JJL sent over 2 giveaways for today. As a sad Celtics fan, he sent over a Lou Dort Rising Star Award, Rising Star moment, a Lou Dort Rising Star moment, and also sent over a regular season Julius Randle All-Star game moment. So in order to qualify, let's get this cooking right now. You're gonna like the stream, subscribe, throw in Chef Curry into the chat. We'll do that towards the end of the show. But to get us going, I can't remember the last time Mike came on after a Celtics game. I can't remember if it was a win or if it was the Game 6 loss against the Heat. I just don't remember. But we're bringing on Weisberg so we can break down last night's championship run. Mike, what's going on, man?
I told you I told you backstage. Living embodiment of the not great Bob meme. Just like a lot of late night text messages, a lot of FaceTimes last night.
Yeah.
Because I live in the Bay and I live in the Marina. Lots of hearing people cheering post game. Not great. Not real fun as a Celtics fan. As Raptor News notes, Aisha Shuri is the chef.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty frustrated. One person I do want to shout out quickly is who I know is in the chat. Pack Trip came on the show last night and
nice.
Had a nice time with him last night, but otherwise, yeah, pretty frustrated.
Shut up, Pack Trip. I'm still getting some more Wi-Fi issues, so I apologize if we get and before
I'll host. It's fine.
Yeah, if we might be okay. It's a little spotty over here today. Yeah, Stan says it's bad when Weisberg shaved. I know we get a clean shaven Weisberg in the house.
I tried to switch the vibes. That's what it was.
And so let's start on the Warriors side of things, man. This is a pretty dominant performance where they got out to that. The Celtics started off hot. They got into a little bit of a lead. And then, the Warriors just turned it on, and all of a sudden they went on it was an insane. I think they ended the half. Was it a 52-25 run or something like that?
52-25, yeah.
And man, tough to they won the game. You know, a lot of times, like throughout the series, there were things like, oh, well, if the Celtics turned the ball over less, or if they did this, or if they did that. I agreed with that with like a lot of what happened at the end of game 4. The game 5 one was a weird one. Last night, they got beat last night. Like they got beat. Steph was incredible. I mean, they got some Wiggins still like the defensive job Wiggins did in this entire series, but last night specifically. And then Draymond Green getting whatever hit 2 threes, but also played like old school Draymond defense where he was incredible last night. And he almost had a triple double. I think it was like 8, 10, and 12 or something like that. It was something like that. But man, crazy, right?
I mean, that was like, as someone who lives in the Bay, that was as good as I've seen them play, in for the better part of the last 3 months as we're leading up to the playoffs. This is a team that I think people don't fully understand. Like the Warriors, I think their expectation was, if we make the second round, we're good. Based on, Clay coming back, Dre being hurt at times, Steph being hurt. I think there was a real expectation here in the Bay that, if they end up losing maybe in the conference finals or in the second round of Memphis, we're good. Mm-hmm. Once Ja got hurt, everything changed. Right. And they were like, oh, we can do this. And Wiggins certainly stepped up here in the finals. Definitely took it to another level. Curry was, man. I mean, he hit some threes where I was just like, are you kidding me? You can't give them second chance opportunities. You can't turn the ball. How many? 25 turnovers last night?
Yeah, something like that. I know it was over 20.
Yeah, it's, you can't give them that many opportunities. The wild thing was they had like 16 turnovers. The Warriors were actually like not great with the ball. It was just they went on a long enough run. Celtics closed it I think as close to 8 in the fourth.
Yeah, they
quarter.
get to 8. They get to 8 because I said if they got to 6, I was then a believer. Like when they cut it down to like 11 or 12, I was like, if they can get this down to 6 with like 6 to 7 minutes left in the game, I think they have a real shot at it. And then like 8 was as close as it got. And there were so many backbreaking shots too. That was the other thing. And you mentioned the Warriors turnovers. The Celtics actually played great defense last night. Like that was one of their better defensive games. It's just like the ball, like the bounces went the Warriors' way, and not in a they got lucky way. It just felt like every offensive rebound turned into a wide open Jordan Poole 3. Or just they got a lot of open shots on second chance opportunities. And they just seemed faster last night too. Like it felt like they were getting they just seemed like they were on the turbo boost the whole time.
Yeah, it felt like when you play 2K and a team's like solidly beating you, and you're just like, fuck this.
Yeah.
That's what last night felt like. It like an element of you're playing 2K and the dude that you're playing just keeps hitting threes, and you're like, I am playing good D, and they're just hitting everything. Wiggins hit threes, Draymond hit threes, Poole hit threes. Clay didn't even play. We didn't even get game 6 Clay. Clay was not very good,
No, there was a couple moments where you're like, "Oh, here it comes," but he could. No, Clay never really got anything going. I think he still had like a fine game, but it wasn't anything crazy.
By the way, I know we're not touched on the Celtics yet. I agree with Will. There is a level of overreaction to Tatum's performance, but at the same time, like you can't score 13 points in a closeout game.
I've been saying this all week long that I thought the Tatum thing was a little crazy. I will say the last night was pretty bad. Like for him not to score until I don't think he scored until for the entire second half until there was like 3 minutes left. Maybe I think he had like a little layup that got him a bucket. I also Dustin Lee's had a comment that said, have we ever seen a potential superstar player just disappear like that? He just doesn't have it. And then I thought Kevin Forge with a great point. How about LeBron in 2011 and 2014? Fair counter right there. That's a fair counter. I don't want to switch to the Celtics just yet because I want to make sure we've given like the Warriors their run.
Let's give the championship team their badges. Like ultimately, man, you got to give Steve Kerr credit. Right? Like he tries out the Otto Porter Jr. starting lineup and it's like, fuck this isn't working. Yeah. And then they go on the 52-25 run. Yeah. Even though they end up getting into a little bit of foul trouble, they stuck with it. you know, I would just say like they got to every 50-50 ball. They
They
did
did.
everything the right way. And Steph was Steph ultimately, right? Like I think like you can do all the advanced analysis. I'm a big advanced analysis that guy, but like man, he was so good last night. He did in a closeout. I think it's important to note in a closeout game, in a big situation, Steph stepped up in a way that like I'm not sure that we've seen him do.
Yeah.
And really cemented himself as a top 10 guy. I firmly believe that. Like, I know who you take out of the top 10. That's probably a conversation for a different day.
Well, yeah. So I tried to do it. I tried to do it this morning, and then Davis Maddock threatened to block me. But I took out I think I took out
Shaq.
Hakeem and Shaq. And so or I think he leaped over them. But basically, I went Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, Russell, Magic, Wilt, Larry, Duncan, Kobe, and Steph.
Whew.
Yeah, I'm like, but at that point, you're just splitting hairs. Like, I don't even know how
Yeah.
you do it. I don't even know how you do it. And
Well, I mean, 4 titles,
yeah,
a Finals MVP, someone who has legitimately changed the game in a way that, frankly, we probably haven't seen since Wilt.
yeah,
Like for those that don't understand with the Wilt stuff, like Wilt literally changed the rules.
right.
So like Steph changed how like our kids are going to play basketball ultimately, right? Like instead of on the fast break, you drive to the lane, you see kids spread out to go shoot threes.
Right.
And that is literally the Steph Curry effect. So yeah, I think he should be a top 10 guy all time. Yes,
Yeah.
Eric Fernandez, no George Mikan. Not happening.
Eric. But yeah, man, Steph's incredible. Also, Steve Kerr, like when you look back on the series, what's his 9th title, right? He's got 5 as a player, 4 as a coach. Also,
Catching up to Bell.
Say that again.
Catching up to Russell.
Yeah, that's right. I also just thought it was kind of crazy, like he benched Draymond at one point. Like Draymond got benched and then came out and played like this towards the back. It felt like he just pulled all of the right strings throughout this entire series. And one other thing too, I saw in the comment, Nikki, I normally like don't put too much emphasis on this, but that is what that looked like last night. They just they were like, we have a chance to shut this shit down and let's step on their throats. And that's what happened.
110%. I agree. The Celtics, they did look a little shell shocked. They didn't look big enough to handle the moment. Which I know cliche, but like that's how it felt watching the game. Like the entire time, you're just like, I don't understand the Marcus Smart stuff. Like Marcus was objectively bad last night.
Yeah, he was pretty bad.
I know scoring wise, he got some buckets, but like the Celtics have things to think about. Yeah. And I don't know what Brad's going to do here in the offseason. They have to think about what they want to do on Grant Williams. But they have like real and serious decisions to make. And like looking like that in the game 6, I don't want to know what something like 98.5 or EI are looking like today in Boston. Like they are probably getting crushed in a way that is not going to be ideal.
Yeah, it's funny, man. We can talk about the Celtics now. I'm not too mad, honestly, and I know maybe it's because of where my expectations were for them for such a long time, where I was like,
agreed,
this was a terrible ass team, and if you told me in December that they were like a couple games away from an NBA Finals, I'd been like, you're high. There's no way that's true. But for them to get as far as they did. In kind of seeing Tatum and Brown morph into what they did and prove that they can play together, I still think this is a huge win for them for this year. Now, it doesn't mean the window's open for the next 7 years. You're right. Like they have a lot of questions to answer. But I'm still like pretty glass half full on this run.
Yeah. By the way, JJL, Felger Mavs are definitely going to go off.
Yeah, that's
exactly
right.
And my man Adam Jones. Jones late night is not going to be ideal. That's my younger brother. Love that dude. They have a lot to think about. I don't understand that performance last night. There's just a lot. Game 4. I was talking last night with some friends in a FaceTime, and it's like Steph literally took the setup by winning game 4, right? Like he has that epic game 4 performance where if not for Steph, the Celtics are up 3-1.
Right.
Game 5, that fourth quarter, brutal. The Tony Brothers stuff, real, unfortunately. I know the Celtics have regrets about that, but you can't have a 12-2 run to start the fourth quarter. Just at every point, the Warriors stepped on their neck.
Yeah.
And you got to give credit to the Warriors. It kind of is what it is. But, when you zoom out 20,000 feet, yes. This is not the team that you saw in December. They were a 500 team. At the same time, there's an element of like, we're 2 wins away from a banner, and
right.
I think there's understandable frustration, and at the same time, like understanding where they were in December. So like, while I understand and appreciate that perspective, Mike, there's another level of like, we should have banner 18.
Yeah.
And,
no, I think that's fair.
And that should stick with us.
I think that's fair. I think one of the things that I took away from this series too was that Robert Williams is going to be legit very good. He showed up last night in an incredible defensive way. I think he got like very unlucky with some putbacks. I feel like he easily could have had 10 and 12 or whatever it was, but I thought he was awesome. I thought the way he defended was like admirable. That Jordan Poole block where Jordan
out of
nowhere, Jordan Poole's like 6 feet behind the 3-point line and just absolutely swatted that shit back into the half court or in the back court was great. I think they're gonna they do have some tough decisions to make though. Grant Williams is weird. Like this was just a very bad matchup for Grant. Like I don't think Grant was bad. Like I still think he's a good rotational player, and that's gonna happen if you're not one of your starters. Like if you're not one of your top 5 guys, there are gonna be matchups where like, hey, this isn't the right fit for you, and that's what happened to Grant in the finals. And I think we just were so used to what we saw Grant do to both. Really just to Milwaukee. His Miami series wasn't awesome either. But he just wasn't the right matchup.
Before I get to Grant, I have a quick question about your watch playback last night.
Yeah.
Did 89 Cavs pass out on the broadcast, given that he was literally drinking weed last night?
Oh no, Steve made it. Steve made it to the third quarter. Steve made it to the third quarter. I will say there was one point where he was like, "All right, I got to get out of here." And we're like, "No, you got to stay." But then he did dip. I think around maybe the third quarter, and then Justin stayed for most of it. But yeah, my man, Steve drinking weed last night was hilarious.
Amazing.
It's so funny.
Yeah, with Grant, I think they have. So, what do you think Grant gets?
Man, I don't know. It depends. Like, if I could see a dumb team like the Knicks or the Kings just being like, "Oh, dude, this is a rotational guy in the finals," which is true, and then giving him too much money. But to me, like, if I don't know. What do you think? Like, 3 years, $6 million a year, something like that. Like but I think he's going to require more, right? Don't you?
I think he gets 4 for 80.
You think so, man?
Yeah. I mean, look.
So what did I say? 6 million. So I was saying 4 for 18, right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no.
4 for 24.
He's getting way more than that in this market.
Yeah.
He's getting PJ Tucker money. 15 to 20 million, probably. I mean, I could be wrong. The market might be different. But
that's crazy.
But like, I think he established himself defensively against a guy like Giannis, and I'm not sure who his agent is. I'll quickly look it up.
Man, that's so much money for Grant Williams.
But I think that's a real thing. That he's a rotation piece. He's ripped by BDA. Okay. Yeah, he's a rotation piece on a finals team, and who can defend 3s, 4s, and 5s. Now the question becomes, does he get 15 to 20, or does he get like 10 to 15? I just don't know where the Celtics put him, but I think other teams could look at him as like potentially 15 to 20.
Yeah, if it's 15 to 20, he's got to go, in my opinion.
Really?
I mean, because that's like Jalen Brunson money.
I mean, that's very possible. I could be wrong. That's just coming off a great playoff run, a guy who shoots 40% from 3 and can guard threes, fours, and fives like Giannis, and he guarded Giannis pretty well.
Yeah, and I'm not even saying you're wrong because the free agency class this summer is weak, and you're going to have some teams that want to spend money, and if they're going to be like, well, hey, listen, if the Celtics want to keep them, they're going to have to pay. And teams are going to have to spend. So you're probably right.
But there's only a couple teams with cap room, right? So he may end up kind of in the price point that you're looking at, right? Like he may end up in that 10 million range.
10 million, absolutely lock him up.
If he gets 4 for 40, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I just think like someone with his skill set, based on kind of like what he does, could be a real thing. It's interesting, by the way, on the Time Lord stuff. He at 4 for 52, he's obviously an amazing contract. It's funny. What do you think he would have gotten after this finals?
Oh my God, way more. Probably like 20, probably 20 a year. I think so. I mean, the only concern for Time Lord right now is his body, right? His health. Like that's the only thing, but he's also not in his late 20s. Like he's still young. So I could see someone doing the 4 for 80 that you just said for Grant. Cause he showed that he could play. They could go small. He can stay on the court. They go big. He can stay on the court. Like he's a great defender. And he's like, I don't know. Who do you want now?
And he played hurt.
Yeah. Who do you want now? Robert Williams on his contract or Rudy on his contract?
I said this before the season when he signed his deal. Who would you rather have, him or Jaren Jackson Jr.? I think is a better question.
Ooh, Robert Williams. Well, Jaren Jackson Jr. He just got paid too, right? So he
got 4 for 100. Or sorry, 5 for 111 million.
Wow. Like when's the last time Robert Williams has been in foul trouble? I feel like that doesn't happen.
Not really. I mean, it happens every now and again, but not really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Agreed. And Fenny agreed on Will Hardy. He feels like someone who probably will end up leaving. I don't know if Missoula leaves, and I'm unsure if David Stoudemire leaves as well.
Because Stoudemire's interviewed for head coaching gigs, right?
He's fucking great, and people know that. I don't know if he ends up leaving for any of those jobs, but definitely some questions on the staff as well. And I also think Mike Zarin eventually is going to become a GM, but that's a question for another day.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have some stuff to deal with this year. I just hope, I really hope, I guess we should talk about Tatum a little bit, right? Because Tatum did disappear in the fourth, actually in the last like 2 games, he's really been, I know his numbers looked good in game 5, but they weren't when you like really look at it. And I don't know. I don't really know what I think you just chalk this up to being like, hey man, he's 24. This was his first NBA finals. It was a big ask for him to go up against this team. And clearly he's got stuff to work on. And then you just, you assume the shoulder injury was worse than it was, and they came out after the game and they said it was nerve issues. So it doesn't sound like it's a surgery required thing or just some nerve damage, which like if it's nerve damage, that means you have like a tough time, feeling stuff. So that would explain a lot. But he clearly, there was a drive last night, I think late in the second quarter, maybe in the third quarter, where it was kind of like a 1-on-2 break and he went up against Draymond. And he threw that layup up like I would going against big people, where it's like my back goes to the basket and I just like throw it up. And that Tatum doesn't normally do that. He normally, usually can get around the contact. He's not someone who like tries to create contact, but
dunk it.
Yeah. Yeah. So he definitely he doesn't look right. He does not look right.
Yeah. I said that whole series, like the idea that he's, missing free throws is weird for him. Mm-hmm. Like, I think from the line, he shot like 70% or like 60% from the line, which is very weird for him.
Yeah.
Did he get to the line last night at all? Maybe once?
Once, I think in the first half. Also, this is a good point too by Rad Dad. He said, strange to see went on a run at the end of the third, cut it to 10 and came out with the fourth on Tatum on the bench. I honestly, because I remember seeing this, I thought they were trying to buy him a couple of minutes because he just had been playing almost like every minute. So I think that's what they were trying to do, but I don't know.
Speaking of people on the bench. All right. Okay. Now you got me motivated. What the fuck? Peyton Pritchard. Why is Peyton Pritchard getting like 10 minutes in a finals game?
I do
not understand. Ime Udoka, what are you doing?
Did they just not have? They were like, we needed to rest somebody, and they like, who else do they put out there?
I love Peyton. I love Bass PP a lot. So quick story time. I went to a bar last weekend, saw a kid in a Peyton Pritchard jersey in a San Francisco bar, and I was like, "Hey man,
why
a Peyton?" I was like, "Peyton Pritchard jersey? I'm really confused." And the guy goes, "Yeah, man, he's a buddy of mine from college. He's a homie." I was like, "You want to FaceTime?" He's like, "No, I'm not." I was like, "Fair." And then the guy ended up going to go sing karaoke and was fucking awful in his Pritchard jersey. And I was like, "That's super fair too." Yeah, man, I don't understand. I don't get it. I like Pritchard was objectively bad, and they hunted the fuck out of him in the end of the first quarter, early second quarter. To Heath Johnson's question on White got hunted too, man, and he's getting paid $17 million a year. There are real and serious questions with him too.
I think they were asking Derek White to do too much too. Like, I don't, he's not, in my opinion, he's not a point guard. That's not what he was at San Antonio either. He's like a solid defender. He's not a great defender, but he's solid. He can hold his own. Every once in a while, he's going to get you like 18 points or something like that. But he's more of a, honestly, he's a backup to Marcus Smart. Like that, he plays a similar style to Marcus Smart. And I think that is like the issue, right? The issue is that they don't have someone who's got like, I got this vibes. Like, don't worry, I'll get us into our offense. They don't have anybody like that. Even Peyton Pritchard, who's like your next guard. Who Jalen, yeah, but Jalen though, unless the offense is making you go left, and then you can't do it, And Jalen was awesome last night. Jalen was like he had some. Mike, I'm curious what your take is on this. I said this last night during the playback stream. Like, to me, and a lot of people, again, are just like mad at Tatum right now, and I get it. Tatum is clearly the best player on the Celtics. He has the highest upside. He has like MVP potential, right? Jaylen Brown, I think his ceiling is still like all-star. I think he could be, he could be a consistent all-star player who's like a great number two. However, I feel like Jalen has the balls. Do you know what I mean? Like whenever, and maybe it's because Tatum was hurt, but Jalen this entire series, for better or worse, anytime they were in a spot was like, give me the damn ball.
Jalen put his nuts on the table. That's what it comes down to, right? Like, he was like, I'm that guy. I can do this. It's frustrating. I thought he had the best series personally for the Celtics. And it feels like no one else showed up outside of game one.
And Time Lord. I'm still going to say Time Lord.
Yeah, agreed on Time Lord. Yeah. It was just like Time Lord wasn't there all the time due to the injury. So it feels like he wasn't there as often. Even though it's very clear that he impacted the game when he was on the court. Man, Jalen's so good. I literally just got an email from Nike and Fanatics on the Golden State Warriors right now. Fuck you, Nike. Not the notification I needed this morning. God damn it. It's so unless Jalen's going left or needs to dribble into traffic, which
it's a problem.
The Celtics and dribbling into traffic. What are you guys doing? Yeah. Like, all right, there was a possession last night. I want to say either in the second or third quarter. Maybe it was in the second, where they ended up Tatum had Curry on him and passes to Derek White. White has Wiggins in the paint, like playing off him a little bit. He decides to drive with 16 on the shot clock. And I was like, what are you fucking doing?
And then he just kind of like, I think he missed everything, right? Or he threw it hard off the backboard. I can't remember.
Yep, threw it hard off the backboard. But like, one, why are we passing out of a Curry and Tatum, like basically pick and roll? Why wouldn't you drive the lane there?
Yeah.
And why is Derek White going at their best defender? Like, they made consistent offensive decisions last night that were mind-boggling.
No, I think Golden State got in their head. I think after coming back, I think they just made them confused. And Tatum clearly wasn't 100%. And I think they were like, well, if Tatum can't do his thing, then we might be in trouble here. And I don't know what to do on offense. I think we saw a lot of that. And I know one more thing on Tatum and the turnovers, because I know he hit like 100 or whatever it was. Yes, that was a huge problem. Also, he played, what was it, like 200 blank more minutes than anybody else in the playoff or any Warrior. He was required to do so much more. They also played like real defensive teams, like throughout like except for the Nets.
He played over 1,000 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
That's just to give people perspective on the Tatum stuff.
Yeah,
playing over 1,000 minutes is like playing half a season, basically.
Yeah. It was pretty nuts.
In a month and a half, where he went through KD and Kyrie, Giannis, Jimmy Butler, and then had to play the Warriors.
Yeah,
I understand why the dude might be exhausted. Living embodiment of the Jimmy Butler meme, but like I feel like that's where Tatum was at this point.
Yeah, he was washed at that point. The couple of good questions too. I want to remind people. Our man JJL Smith gave over a Lou Dort Rising Star and a All-Star Julius Randle moment to give away. So all you got to do is like the stream, subscribe, throw in hashtag Chef Curry. And to pivot to Top Shot just a little bit, right? So
agreed. Yeah.
I thought it was cool that the championship badges were up there like immediately. So, to give Top Shot props, that happened within like 5 minutes, which I thought was pretty cool. But I saw Borland had a question, said, so for the Celtics fans, does this result change how you feel about the finals legendary pack? I don't know. Any thoughts on that, Mike?
I mean, you know what I did yesterday. I made my big move in buying Tatum TSD yesterday, which basically for me was my decision of not wanting to buy the finals pack.
Yeah.
Like the finals pack is fine. I think it's overpriced at $1,000. Like if you're gonna give people a fucking $200 rebate, then just price it at $799. Call it a day. Like I think the reason why you do that is from a marketing perspective. You want people to stay on the site and spend the $200, but like.
And I think they're moving away. They're trying to make it not so rent seeker friendly. I think that's part of it. But which I get that argument. I do get that argument. But I do think like with everything that's happening right now, pricing that at $999 is a tough sell.
I mean, is that an ETH at this point? Like, what are we doing?
Honestly, I haven't checked this one.
I have no idea.
Check right now. Let's see where this is at. It is at it's 1,076.
So in ETH, they're pricing a pack at an ETH, which is fucking wild to think about. Yeah, look, I'm not buying this pack. I understand the argument for buying it, which is maybe you hit on a Curry or a Clay or even like a Jordan Poole, but like Poole's can be. Do you? All right, let me ask you this, Mike. Let me switch it on you.
Yeah.
Do you think that the legendaries will be worth $1,000?
I think it'll be worth over. I think the worst one will be worth over $700. So if with the 200 rebate and then there were 4 moment, I do think these packs are going to be profitable. I'll be surprised if they're not. And I'll also say to Aaron's initial question, as a Celtics fan, sure, I'd rather them be the ones who won. I think overall though, the pack is more profitable with the Warriors winning.
Yeah. 110%. It's great for Top Shots bags. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Having Curry with another legendary at 75, I think will make them significantly more money than Tatum being the lead guy with 75 moments. I think the make count is great.
Yeah, the 75, right? So it's out of 75. I wish there was 2 rares in there, but I think still. Whatever,
which is fucking stupid. Let's call a spade a spade. The idea that they sell 10,000 packs yesterday, and yet in a stress test, and they don't put 1 extra rare when you're struggling to sell rares as it is.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. I saw a lot of anger about the stress test. I wasn't so pissed about the stress test because they need to do that before they do this next drop, right? 10,000 did seem high, but I think they needed to do it so that they could figure out the how many packs each person buys based on TSS and stuff like that.
Well, quickly, the one thing I will say is I saw scattered reports. I know my man Bleezy, my co-host on the break, he saw a buy now tab. While he was buying his pack, and he tried to screenshot it, but I think they were trying some stuff out yesterday that they were trying for the legendary drop. I don't know if that's a permanent feature, but that was after he got through the first round. So he got through the first round, and there was a buy now button where he could go and immediately buy back.
Interesting. Well, I know this is, I don't know how widely known it was for about the stress test. Like, I don't know if like the majority of the community was aware. I assume at this point they are when something like that happens. But what I thought was interesting, 10,000 packs where you could buy multiple depending on your collector score, and it took a little bit to sell out. Like, I know a lot of people went through 2 or 3 times, which made me wonder just like if we've gotten savvy enough that we're like, hey, this is probably not worth it. Like, that's the first time in a long time that I remember just being like, oh, I'm not lining up. Like, no thanks.
I bought 2.
Yeah.
Because I'm a fucking degen, and I was
No.
like, I'm gonna do this. But like, yeah, not worth the $18. I definitely got a bunch of trade tickets.
Yeah.
Frustrating, I think. Like, how do you feel about Top Shot right now, broadly? Like, just the thing that you literally have a show about.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
No, I honestly think I think it's hard to gauge where they're at right now with what like the rest of the world is doing. And so I'm trying to maintain, like, I'm trying to take that aspect out of it. So like just looking at the market itself, I'm trying not to do. And the things that I'm like into, I thought like, I know there was some frustration around the Magic Drop. I thought the Magic Drop was really cool. I'm excited to see
Great.
what that looks like moving forward. I thought that was great. I'm glad that they like filtered in some flash challenges back into the finals. I thought they'd be making a bigger deal about people who are going to the games. I was surprised we weren't seeing more of that. Mainly because that's like, when you talk about like the in real life utility and going to events and stuff like that, I thought they'd be doing a better job advertising that. And same thing with Summer League. Like, I think Summer League is going to be a big deal, but we still don't really know what they're going to be doing. It's weird that it feels a little quiet right now. Like, there was a lot of victory laps happening a couple of weeks ago on Twitter from Dapper, and it feels like that has settled down. I feel like we're not hearing as much, but overall, sorry, I know I'm like long-winded.
No, go.
Overall,
Go.
I still feel like pretty good. But I feel like this is going to take a while. And I think my brain has finally wrapped itself around that it's going to take a little bit before we get to a place where I feel good,
By the way, noticing in the background, you went with blue lights today.
I did, and it was set up for green, and I changed it before I turned my camera on. I was like, not a chance.
Yeah, I think there's I wouldn't even say frustration. I think most of the community, I don't know if I feel this way, or the rest of the community feels this way, but like it feels like there's a level of resignation and like kind of just like malaise in a way that's annoying and weird, and people are just like, yeah, man, I'm doing this thing, my bags are packed, and yeah. As far as the Summer League stuff, actually, quickly before I get there, I will say this. So Brian Bleasy was at game 4. Janie stopped by his seat. So Janie and Carrie came by, and if they did that for him, they probably did it for everyone else who went to games. At least in the conference finals. That's why I said that during your stream last night. I jumped in for a minute at the end, and it's like they very clearly went to games and thanked people and took photos with them,
which I think is great. I think that's nice.
And to Brian's point, he was just like, "You thanking me for giving me tickets to the finals? Like, really?
Yeah,
like we're doing this? So that's cool, but it's like, do the fucking social work." Right?
Yeah.
Like
I'm surprised by that. I really am. I thought, I'd have a team all over this, like if that means 2 less people get to go to the games because you need your social team there to do that, then you have to do that. Like, you need to be
Carrie was at every game. Like, she was there for a lot of it. So like, put all of it on social, put a video out. Like, I don't understand like why they're not promoting that you're doing the actual work. You're spending the money.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna put the marketing spend in, put your social spend in. Like, make it a thing. It's frustrating, man. I don't, that part of it I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know. Maybe they're spread too thin right now. I'm not entirely sure. I'm seeing Rad Dad too saying the summer of burning will be upon us soon enough. Yeah, I think that is right. I think we will see a lot of that this summer, which will, that'll be a fun thing to keep us entertained during the off season. I'm excited to see how they roll that out. Like, I do. Again, I think it's really hard right now because of where the world's at. Like, I think it's hard to. I think we're going to see the market come down because people are losing their shirts in crypto, and they're like, okay, I need to, let me make sure I soften the blow a little bit by taking some of this out, which I'm not going to be the guy that's out there tweeting like, hey, remember the last time you said the next dip you're going to buy? Like, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you should go out there and open the wallets and go wild. But I do think like there's going to be some interesting deals out there. And we're already seeing it right now. Like if you are a Series 1 person, those MGLE Top Shot debuts are creeping down close. It's almost like 2x now what the actual Top Shot debut is. And that's expensive. I know. But like normally that's 3 or 4x what the price is. So some interesting stuff there.
Have you checked On the Moment today?
I was over there for a second because I was looking at the Flash Challenge. Let me pull that up. Why?
I'd love to see quickly what happened to Celtics moments today. I wonder how much they dipped after the Celtics lost.
I know some of the Tatums went down, but it was weird. The Tatum you actually bought it at somewhat of a good time because right after you purchased it, they announced that Flash Challenge, and when they announced the Flash Challenge, it was like speculation that his Top Shot debut was going to be in there. So, okay, look, the last 24 hours down 8%. So down 8%, but up 3% in the last 4 hours. So there you go. It's coming back up.
My account's up 14%. So that
there you go.
Pack my fucking bags.
There you go.
But let's see what's up. I'm quickly checking my account here.
Well, if you get that Draymond Green playoff moment, that one is absolutely pumping.
That is pumping. It's up to $16. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, the Tatum's down to 540. It is what it is. I bought that knowing full well that if they lost,
Yeah. What did you got it at like 580 something, right?
So you had yours listed at 625. And I was like, should I buy Zakarian's?
What's crazy is they announced that Flash Challenge and that got scooped up.
Oh, so your bags got pumped either way. So it worked out.
Win-win.
Damn. Okay. So I don't feel bad at all. I bought it at the lowest price and it is what it is. Yeah, frustrating. I don't know, man. It's just so speaking broadly on the Summer League, how do you feel? One, about Summer League, two, about their promotion, and like I assume we're getting something today or tomorrow. Probably.
Yeah,
tomorrow,
I know. We're definitely getting it I got it on good authority that within the week we're supposed to get some information, and it would be nice if it was today.
Yeah, So here, I'll give the chat a little alpha. Here's what I'll say. I've been holding this back a little bit, but like, it's very clear that they've been holding back on an announcement due to the venue.
Due to the what?
Due to the venue.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and the venue specifically, are there birds in the background?
Yeah, that's funny. I was curious if it was picking that up. Yeah, my window's open and there's like a tree right there. So
I was like,
the only birds in the city.
Okay, I was like, am I crazy? Am I hearing birds randomly? Man, am I that hungover that I'm hearing things? I'm very confused. Yeah, I don't understand what's happening. Like, so they go to the second weekend, but they fucking hold off for 3 weeks because you're not sure on which venue you're booking. Why wouldn't you just? Well, this isn't hard, I guess, is my point. Like, you should have everything wrapped up in one announcement. The fact that we're making people wait, like, people have lives, they have jobs, they have like actual vacations to book. Why are you making people wait a month and a half?
Yeah, it is weird. Especially because I was told where the venue was going to be like 5 weeks ago. So and I can't. I'm not going to share that, but I like had heard where it was going to be. So I'm kind of curious, like, how that doesn't get. Listen, as someone who's planning a wedding right now, you need to book venues like a year in advance. So
110%. What the fuck are we doing?
So I don't know what's going on, and I'm sure. Listen, I don't want this to come across that I think they're incompetent. I know that's not the case. I'm sure there's lots of stuff we don't know. It is wild though. It is June 17th. We will be there in less than a month. It'll be over in less than a month. And so I don't know. I don't know unless like I think it was Here we go. I'm a man.
Man,
I'm 40.
I'm 40.
And maybe Jeb, I think it was Jeb who was saying this in a chat or in the Discord or something, that like maybe they just don't want a lot of people there. Maybe it's that. Maybe they can't have a lot of people there, which then makes me like wonder what kind of venue they're booking. If they like, because I don't know how many people did they think they were going to get to go?
I know the venue too. Like,
yeah,
I like
it's a big
like,
venue.
It's a big venue. I don't understand. I talked about this with a couple of people recently who are aware too. It's just like their messaging at times doesn't make sense to me on a lot of things, and it's as someone who's a big consumer of the product, is a big consumer of a lot of different streams within the product. I don't get it. It's just like the sad thing is I love the product. Like that's what we're here for, right? We're here for that pack opening experience. We're here for the crack cocaine that is literally opening a pack. But at the same time, it's like from a comms perspective, they're better. They're better than they were like 2 months ago.
Definitely.
And I'll give Janie all the credit on that. Like their comms are way better. I think like she took it to heart when I spoke to her 2 months ago, and I was like, your comms are trash.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like put in the work. Now I understand like all of the Web 3.0 NFTs, everything's down. So maybe they're just like holding back a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
Trying to figure out like how do we like trying to take careful steps in a way that make product sense. But if that's the case, I think you should lower the cost of legendary packs or do more stuff with trade tickets. Burning's a great idea. They already did a burning challenge, and I'm sure there's going to be more. Yeah. I think the criticism on burning challenges is fucking stupid.
The burning was exciting. The burning was
great. Like, and it made sense with lower volume. Like, you're going to roll out a very big product. You don't want to be like, hey, let's burn 60Ks and have that shit fuck up.
Right.
Too. No. Right. Like you do it with something with significant lower value that you would already promise people. Mm-hmm. You do that. Like I see people like Anderson Paak, people like that who are being like, I don't know that you should do this. Anderson Paak, sorry for the strays. But it's like ultimately, like there are ways that you need to do it, and I think they are taking careful steps. My problem is they're not taking like broad-based steps that assure the market. Does that make sense as an analysis that they're not taking like firm steps in the ground that feel confident? I guess that's the thing. Is like I don't feel like there's confidence with where they are.
Yeah, I agree with that. I wonder too. I just can't tell how much of it is intentional versus unintentional. Do you know what I mean? I think that is a lot of that's like my biggest question. Like, are they going slow on purpose right now? Are they like, we're not ready for this? And that's a hard thing to communicate too, to like a bunch of people spending money on this. Like if they were like, hey, we're probably a year away from really cooking, you can't really tell your community that in a way that does, because then if they told me that, I'd be like, okay, well, I'm not buying a damn thing for another year probably.
Do you think there's conversations happen on the side in Vegas?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Like that, because that's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to pull a bunch of us aside and be like, hey, content creators, just letting you guys know, here's where we are. Here's what's going on. Here's kind of our next steps. So you guys have an understanding of what we're doing and why we're doing it. Like, I think that would be a smart thing to do.
I don't know. I don't understand. I will never understand the way that they have interacted or their lack of interaction with content creators. I don't, I think in the last 9 months, it feels like there's been a concerted effort to slow down we're only consulted if they're giving stuff away or if they need us to share something for them. And I can't stress this enough. I don't work for you. It's not my job. You do not pay me, even though I would throw money at us so that we're
well, to be fair, like you've done some stuff where they pay you, right? Like
but I was paid as a host. I was paid
you're paid as an independent contractor.
Right.
That's different than being paid as an employee. And by the way, chat, I apologize about us like kind of going in our own little circle here. But like, yes. No, whatever.
I don't
Fuck
care.
chat.
This
is fine.
Yeah, this is my show.
This,
do whatever we want.
Right? Jack can't control anything.
But I don't understand. I don't understand the way that they're working with us. They're just like, hey, can you give away these packs? Do some likes and streams and stuff. We'll give away these packs. And I don't know, maybe it's because the vibes have changed. And like, I think a little, as a collective, we're probably a little bit more constructive than we were before, but I don't know.
I'll say this. I've definitely hurt some feelings at times.
Yeah.
Like there are definitely some people behind the scenes who are like, I don't appreciate X, Y, and Z. We've both gotten DMs that have not been great at times, but like, we don't work for you. We're creating free content for you. Yeah. And it's like, there is, yes, Eric Fernandez, we control everything. It's how we feel at times. But it's like, just give us enough space to like, from a content creator standpoint, to feel like we're appreciated and involved.
Yeah, just help me. I don't even, yes, I would like to feel appreciated. For me, man, help me help you. I like, just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here doing your job that you guys aren't really doing. So I don't understand why. I just don't, I don't get it. And again, that's what I'm saying, where I can't tell if this is intentional or unintentional, right? Because if they're like, hey, we can't do more right now, and we need you guys to chill. And that's a hard message to convey. And so if it's intentional, I totally get it. But if it's unintentional, I've got, cause for concern a little bit. And again, the other thing that I keep going back to, maybe it's because they are trying to create their own stuff,
You see this jump shoot comment? Janie's talking to LG in the next podcast.
Wow. Good to see. First Mint still doing Top Shot stuff?
Apparently. I mean, I love LG and the squad over there.
I do. I got the NFT. I'm in there.
But at the same time, look, it's funny. Like, they're not bad. They're not hoop heads. Like, if I have a criticism of the First Mint, by the way, LG, love you, buddy. Like, not trying to have you catch strays here, but it's like, they are the biggest name on the platform. Ultimately, they have the most followers, so I understand why she would choose to go there.
And he's LG is an incredible interview too. I think he's like, again, I know they've done a little bit of a brand pivot almost, but I mean, he was like the Woj of all of this, when this first started.
And by the way, I'll give you guys a quick LG story. I know we're running short on time. We're running up against it, but. The first time that I actually did any kind of content was their first spaces. I knew jack shit about Top Shot. Maybe I still don't know jack shit about Top Shot 2 years in. Chat will probably agree with that. But like, I went on the spaces and jumped up because spaces were still pretty new. And LG had me on for an hour.
Yeah, he's
and I was like I had friends texting me being like, dude, they kept you on for so long. How did I don't understand. I'm like,
LG's generosity with like his time is fantastic. Like when it comes to stuff like that, or just like even in DMs, is very generous with his knowledge and stuff. So nothing but love. But anyways, continue. I'm sorry, I sidetracked us.
Oh no, it's fine. I would say that I think Cheney going on there, if we're just talking the business of NFTs, I think he's the best person to go to for Web 3.0 stuff. Like, I actually think that part of it is smart. I'm going to be intrigued to see how much LG puts their feet to the fire a little bit and really like kind of goes at her. I don't know how much he'll do that.
Maybe they're going to talk about Pogs. Maybe that's why she's going on, just Pogs only.
I mean, that is not happening. I don't think that. Like, I love Retro. He's a Boards to Buckets board member. He's good people, but like, I don't know. I mean, we hosted his last show on YouTube, but
nice.
Yeah, I don't understand the Pog thing. Not my circus, not my pony.
No, I get it. Yeah, there we go. Dr. Dunk saying
off-season Pog, obviously. But quickly on that, how do you feel about people having products outside of Top Shot? Whether it's Dumbo, whether it's Janie, like, does that bother you?
No, not really. That doesn't bug me. I mean, I guess you could like, Dumbo's different in my opinion, just because he's like a community guy. He's not running the whole thing, so that feels a little bit different. I'm all for people pursuing stuff they're passionate about. That doesn't bug me too much, unless it's like detrimental to the product. So if you can make the direct correlation that their ability or their involvement in other stuff is impacting like their day-to-day job, then yeah. But outside of that, I'm usually okay with it. I think it'd be cooler if it was, also basketball related or something. I don't know if it like made more sense. Sorry. And this is, I'm not trying to FUD other projects. I can't get my head around some of these, and I'd like them to
it's also like, so, like even someone like Graham, right? Like I'm sure he's invested in 10,000 things and he has 10,000 projects, and whether he's on a fucking yacht or courtside at a Warriors game, I understand people being like, I don't get why you're not focusing on X, Y, and Z. Motherfucker, the guy lives a life.
Yeah.
Let him
right.
Let him live his life. Okay.
Right.
Like
I'm not mad at you.
I'm sure he is in the office. I'm sure he's focused. He has a very big $1 billion product that he is responsible to VCs for. I'm sure he cares. Like the idea that all of you, and I'm talking about all of Twitter, like actually keep fucking trolling this guy for being on a yacht or being courtside. Fuck you. Like, sorry. Like, no, I get it.
I'm totally with you. I'm totally with you there. Yeah, I like to just kind of put a pin on like this whole combo, right? I think I do still firmly believe in this stuff, and I'm excited about it moving forward. And I think and this isn't even just about crypto. I just think we're in for a bumpy couple of years, and I'm fascinated to see where stuff goes.
Do you feel like the level of dunking that is happening on crypto broadly? There's an element of like people being like, all of your bags suck. You guys are terrible people. Fucking people living in their mom's basement. Fuck you. Your money's not real. All of that. Like I feel all of that on Twitter.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's like, we kind of made smart financial decisions. Fuck off.
Well, you know what? Listen, I'm fine with that, right? Like if people want to troll, they troll everything else. They might as well troll this too. But my favorite thing with all of this is that, like, show me the market doing well right now, right? Like everything's down. It's not just that like crypto got burned and then you can be like, oh yeah, but you can't trust crypto. Show me who on Wall Street you can trust. Show me the safe stuff, And so
oil companies.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, and so to hear that from
the Saudi government, apparently.
Yeah. And again, most of the people chiming in on Twitter are dumb anyways, right? So it's like, I'm not going to you for financial advice. I will say though, the stuff that keeps coming out is not like great. Like the 3AC stuff that's coming out, the Celsius stuff, like all of that looks bad. And it's less about like crypto not being sustainable and more about being like, see, you can't trust these guys.
People making really, really bad management. Like, I think there are levels to this, right?
Yeah. It's great. Great.
There are levels to, I think, all of this stuff, like kind of figuring it out.
Yeah.
So someone just randomly followed me on Twitch. Big Baller John.
There you go. Shout out Big Baller John.
Yeah, I think there are levels to like figuring this stuff out, and we're very clearly in for the long haul. The idea of we're all going to make it is fucking dumb, but like I'm hopeful.
Yeah,
mostly because my bags are packed. Kind of it is what it is. Like I will say this. I think I said this in someone's stream recently, but it's like there are going to be a lot of projects that are going to zero, and that may not necessarily be rugs as much as it's
a bad idea.
People need to go to new things, and they're going to be new projects, and people are going to be disappointed about their community. Community means nothing ultimately to me. Like, don't get me wrong, we all have communities, whether it's Team Hole, whether it's Boys to Buckets, and those are important things. But at the same time, for the NFT space in particular, it gets weird because you build these projects up, and then ultimately, if it doesn't work, what happens? You're just like, all right, cool, I'm out. Like as a creator. So I don't understand, man. I think there's going to be spaces for long-term stuff. DAOs, I don't know where the fuck that stuff goes. Like that's where I'm confused.
Yeah, I'm also just like the wrong person to ask because I'm like so invested in Top Shot and not really anything else. Like that's kind of where I've spent most of my energy for that reason, because I do like I mean, shout out Crypto Dads who came on like early on and was a lot of fun. But I wasn't like, man, you know where I love spending my time? The Crypto Dads Discord. I was like, no, I like money. Like money's cool. And so that's,
I
that's
like that project. That project was fun.
The project was fun. It was fun, and I thought they were cool, and I enjoyed even though one of them turned out to be a rug, apparently. I thought like the project in it, one of the founders did some shady shit. And I think
weird. Someone in Web3 did some shady shit.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Weird.
But like I wasn't in it because I was in it because it was like it made sense. It was kind of like funny. I like Bob's Burgers, but I wasn't like, man, I love hanging out in the Discord. And I feel that way. I don't hang out in any Discords, but really Team Hold. And then like I poke around in the First Mint and like here and there. But that's
little plunge in action here and there.
Little plunge in action. That's right. There we go. Jump shoot with some breaking news. Says Crypto Dad's still going and ain't dead. Let's go crypto. And again, I'm not out there to FUD it, but like to your community point, I'm with you. I think like I'm invested in one community, and it's the one that, and of course I'm invested in that one. It's the one we created, so that's the one I care about the most.
We're agreed, but we're also we're invested in our money. Like I know that seems very like simplistic, but like we only care about the things that we should care about, and like the idea that you need to be hanging out on Discord, I think is stupid most of the time.
Yeah, right. Unless you want to be there, but you shouldn't have to be there for alpha. Or Borland just got a free pack of the Crypto Dad's energy drink. Let's go, Borland. Utility, baby.
Is that utility or is that just free marketing?
I know. I could use. Drinks right now though.
I'm hungover as fuck. Full disclosure. Don't feel great today.
Nope.
But probably like 70% today. Performance. But it is what it is. When your team loses in the finals, what are you gonna do?
That's what you do. All right, let's we're gonna wrap up just here in a second. If you haven't liked the stream and subscribe and put hashtag Chef Curry, do that now. And we're gonna give away the 2 moments from our man JJL Smith. We've got a Lou Dort Rising Star, and what was the other one? It was a Julius Randle All-Star Game moment. The other thing I wanted to check right now, while we have time, while people are coming in. So here we go. We are up to 100 eligible completers of the Pressure Hero Ball, right? The Hero Ball one is the Steph Curry debut, the Jaylen Brown debut. Then you need a Steph Curry Rare Legendary MSFE. And then you need and then there were 4s of Draymond Green, Al Horford, and then last but not least, a legendary moment from the Warriors. Now, this is such an interesting challenge because if this goes over 160, I kind of don't care about it. And we're at 100 now with what, 5 hours, 6 hours to go. And let's just look. So if 160 or less, you get a with the strip drop from series 1, 161 to 269. It's and then there were 4, and then 270 or more. It's an elite and a premium series 3. So an MGLE. If that stays under 160, that's kind of interesting to me.
By the way, jump shoot. Love all the Crypto Dad support. Trashing the project on Father's Day weekend is an interesting tactic. Bold choice, jump shoot. This is what we do.
I wasn't trashing. I just I didn't want to hang out in the Discord.
We do what we can on Father's Day weekend.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. Can I just say, like, do we care about S1 packs right now?
So as someone, this is what I would say, as someone who has, I own the Steph Curry fandom moment, a Steph Curry debut, a Jaylen Brown debut. If I could get my hands on a rental for a legendary moment, I would be interested in a series 1 with the strip. I still get excited at the thought of like ripping a Luka debut or something like that. That's still kind of cool. However, I'm not going to spend $1,700 on a Warriors legendary to get it.
So I think that's the big question. Or you could rent it on Floaty or something. But like, I'm not. So let just. I know we're super up against it.
We're fine. Go ahead.
I do think there, and chat, tell me how you guys feel about this. Do we, like, as far as S1 goes, I think there's an element of soft resignation that the market has figured itself out on where S1 packs are, or S1 moments, I should say. And it's like, unless you're getting something big like a LeBron or a Luka or Tatum or whatever, do S1 packs matter to the community? Like, I feel like with the trade ticket and the way that they're doing trade tickets, they're clearly overpriced. And like,
Yeah, the Series 1 packs are overpriced. Yes, I do agree with that.
So it's like, and they're somewhat overvaluing them. So it's like, price everything fairly for where your community is. If you know all of crypto is down, maybe don't put an S1 with the strip like pack at 160 completions. Maybe make it 400. You
I
you
see what
want
you're
more
saying.
you want more circulation anyway, right?
Yeah.
Of these moments, make it attainable for people.
What I'd ask, I wonder how many Series 1 with the strip packs they have left, because I'm with you. Like if you make that a little bit more accessible, not accessible, but like reward more people, because that does, I mean, the drop off from that to and then there were 4, I think, is pretty tough.
How many LeBrons are in circulation of the S1 Top Shot debut? Common.
Let's see.
Pull it up.
No, yeah, I still got on the moment up here. I feel like it's still only like 60% or something like that. Are you looking that up right now?
I'm pulling it up now.
Okay.
So hold on. Let me. OTM is being weird for me right now. I'm just trying to pull up his Top Shot debut. I'll do it by low ask. We'll do it that way. Top Shot debut is that's the MGLE. Man, he has so many fucking moments on the platform. It's
I know he does.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think full circulation is around like 70-80%.
Okay,
like,
so it's getting there. So there's still somewhere between 250.
It's at 90% circ.
Oh, 90%. Okay, so there's 100 left. 100 of those LeBrons left.
32 in packs.
Oh wow, 32.
So it's like, does that matter to you? Like, is that like what you're looking for in a pack at this point?
Yeah,
because like price point wise, it's kind of like, yeah, you're getting a lottery ticket, but those lottery tickets are slowly going to disperse out. And is it worth like $5,000 to $6,000 to you?
Well, this is what I'll say. Well, no, it's not worth $5,000 or $6,000. I'll tell you that right now. But like, I think there's still a lot of excitement still around pulling anything from like LeBron, Ja, Curry, Giannis, Luka. You know, anybody in that stratosphere, right? Is still.
Sorry, I was looking at the MGLE. It's in the common is. Oh, okay. There's 38%, so it's 62% owned. There's 377 left. So there's a bunch still available. My bad, guys.
No, that's helpful.
But I do think that's a concern. Like,
so this is what I was saying. I think that is a concern, you know, in the short term, right? So knowing that although I don't think did we do a Series 1 drop in May? I can't remember. It's towards the end. It's towards the end of June, so we should be getting another one soon. And I know we still have like a year of these, or maybe a little bit less than that now. This is like the point, and this is kind of how I went. Why we've got a LeBron TSD over the Luka Hollow. I think through time, right, that is going to be the thing that differentiates. I mean, LeBron's tricky because he's going to be done playing soon, and same thing with someone like Chris Paul. But when you think about Luka's going to get a hollow every year for the next 10 years. Giannis is going to get a hollow every year for the next like 8 to 10 years. Same Jokic, Agreed. Same thing, right? Because this is how they do hollows. It's one of the top moments. I mean, one of the top players on a team, and that's how they do it. And I think over time, that badge is going to signify like, hey, this is what makes it different from Luka Hollow Series 2, Series 3, Series 4, Series 5, you know? And so to me, as a collector, that's kind of how I've been gauging it. Because every time a new hollow comes out, that the hollows before it become a little less valuable, right?
Agreed. And quickly to Jump Shoot's point, as I'm looking at the moment, there are a bunch of whales that do own like the LeBrons. So for example, MBO has 33 LeBrons. Yeah. Which is wild. Think about it. Yeah. Over 100K in LeBrons. And to your actual point, Mike, what I would say is, owning TSDs is the better long-term option. But it's also like people want to hit on a lottery ticket and then flip it. I think that's where most of the community is. So like, I know a lot of people in our Boys Buckets Discord who are just going to buy the finals pack and flip it. Hope they get a lottery ticket and see what happens. And I think that's where most people are right now with Top Shot. It's like, are people holding to hold, or are you buying to flip? And I think there's a real conversation to be had about how the community feels and what they're actually doing. And I don't understand, like, I should say I don't understand. I think it's interesting that we still have some people on the platform who are ready to flip. We've gotten more basketball fans on the platform, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, there is a level of frustration of just being like, I'm just here to flip as much as I can.
Yeah,
and I think that is a real thing on the platform.
Yeah, but and I'm not even poo-pooing that, right? If you get 350 trade tickets at $2, you spend $700 and you land a $4,000 moment or 3,200, whatever it is right now. I totally get that. Because maybe you're like, I actually don't like LeBron, so I'm gonna go get this and this, and then maybe withdraw some. I'm not gonna hate on that because I know that's like a way to play the game. I've done that. I've pulled, like, I remember the last legendary drop we had. I think I ripped an RJ Barrett and I flipped that to buy. Maybe it was a Luka debut. I forget what it was. So there we go, Chewy.
His son did roast me for a good 10 minutes last night.
That's great.
Fucking Micah, this 10-year-old kid,
beautiful,
roasted me for 10 minutes on Watch Playback last night.
Beautiful. I love that.
It was fantastic. Shout out Chewy.
But yeah, so I totally get it. I totally get that play, and I just think Airplane Mode saying, what's the Top Shot debut, an okay moment that has a bad. It's their first moment on the site. It's their first moment. Oh wait, you're saying just because it's the first moment on the platform shouldn't give it any extra values. Interesting. I think they're Airplane. Maybe that's fair. That's fair. But I think when you have 50 LeBron moments, what's going to make one LeBron different than the other, and it's probably the first one that gets on there.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to, obviously. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. I think we're gonna call it there. We've covered a lot of stuff today. Mike, I appreciate you jumping on, man. But before I get you out of here, let's spin this giveaway right now. We're gonna spin it 2 times. If you win this thing, shoot me a DM either at Mike Zakarian or in the Discord. Today, I think the happy hour shows at 3. There's a chance we nix it based on my schedule for the weekend. It might be getting a little hairy. So stay tuned for that. Just pay attention on Twitter. But most likely we're back here at 3 p.m. Eastern. So here we go. This is for the Lou Dort. Spinning the Lou Dort first. Here we go.
Just for the rigged in the chat.
Yeah, you got to throw it. You have to have the rigged in there. Eric Fernandez. Wow. And honestly, I like that he didn't win the Knicks one. And in honor of Eric Fernandez, because I know he's a diehard Knicks fan, and because the next moment we're about to spin, here you go.
Regular season Randall.
That Randall's like $20 now, I think, right?
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
We're going to update. That's bad. But now we're doing the Randall All-Star Game. So congratulations to Fernandez for getting that W. Here we go. This is the Randall All-Star Game moment. Here we go. It is going to Stubbs. Adam Stubbs, Mr. Diego himself. Congratulations. Big W right there.
$94, by the way.
94? Wait, no, that's the All-Star moment, right? What are you looking at right now?
No, sorry, that's the early one.
Yeah.
The regular one is $30. You're right.
Suck it, Randall. All right. So Stubbs, congratulations, my man. Huge win right there. So Stubbs and Fernandez, big W's. Just shoot me a DM so I remember to send it to you. Mike, dude, anything to plug heading into the weekend?
Shout out on the break Twitch, which I haven't twitched in a minute just because watch playback has taken over my life. We have some good watch playback stuff coming in the off season. We'll see probably a little bit of football. Shout out Boards to Buckets Discord, Boards to Buckets Twitter. Shout out my man Dream Shake, who is in Miami getting ready for his wedding. Yeah, man, pretty pumped. Obviously we're in the off season. Excited for Vegas. Are you excited for Vegas? Are you excited to go?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I really am excited.
Haven't booked my hotel yet. I got to figure that stuff out, but got my flight booked. So
yeah, I just booked. Well, I booked the hotel a while ago, but just booked the flight, and I'm ready. I'm ready to get out there. This summer for me is so insane, and so it's going to be a nice little oasis in the midst of the chaos. So I'm really looking forward to that and just kind of getting away for a little bit. And Kelsey usually comes with me out there. And I think this lining up with her bachelorette weekend, or I forget why she's not coming. And so I'm kind of excited to have, not that I wouldn't be excited if she was there, but it's kind of like
it's like love the wife, but
yeah,
got to do the thing.
Of course. But I'm kind of, I haven't just hung out with G Dunn in a while. I know Dustin will be out there. It's going to be a good time. I'm really looking forward to it.
Sounds great, man.
All right, but we're going to wrap up here. I got to get out of here. Mike, thanks again for jumping on and commiserating with me about the Celtics. I appreciate you getting up early for it. Congrats to all those Warriors fans, and we'll see you. Actually, we'll probably be back at 3, so see you at 3. All right, we out.
Well, the top shot streets are